It should be updated on the long-term water plan, and this is just to reiterate a couple of requests that I've made before about if we could hear, and I think to follow up on a pledge that you made, if we could hear about presentations from some of the alternatives out there, and I just want to know if we could get that scheduled sooner rather than later. I'm thinking, just throwing it out there, perhaps maybe sometime next Monday. We've got to be here anyway for a couple of meetings, and maybe we could put that on the agenda for maybe an hour, 45 minutes. I don't know how long it would take.
I spoke to Cliff Hertz last week. He was kind of checking with his group and seeing what was available for him. That was Thursday last week. Haven't heard from Cliff yet. Jeff Sluggett was going to present, I think, to the Water Committee today.
You're supposed to present today to the Water Committee?
Couldn't harness his people to come speak to the Water Committee first. So we can.
You think a week notice would be enough?
I'll make some more follow-up phone calls today.
Yeah, I want to get a meeting in with the Water Committee. The C-51 people came and did a wonderful presentation for the Water Committee. I'd like to see the same from Lake Point, and then we'll schedule a commission meeting.
On them both.
Well, does that necessarily have to be a condition precedent to meeting with the commission? I mean,
well, because
the Water Committee
I think it's what we've asked C-51 to do, and they've done it, and they did a nice job. And the Water Committee wants to hear. I have not heard their presentation. I have not heard their presentation. I would certainly like to see what they're presenting before we put it out into public.
All right, because I don't know if I necessarily want to wait till it goes before the Water Commission before it comes before us.
We're ready. We were ready today. They weren't.
Okay, but we're ready next. We as a commission are ready next Monday.
And I'm ready anytime this week for Jeff to come in, anytime this week to make a presentation.
Okay. Well, what I would like is see if we could get it next Monday, whether or not. I mean, if you meet with the Water Committee, that's fine.
That's not fair to the C-51 people. C-51 did it and made a nice presentation, and they did an excellent job.
Isn't C-51 one of the people that will be presenting to the commission?
Yeah. So why should
everybody's presenting to the commission at the same time?
Why shouldn't Sluggett present to the Water Committee when C-51 has?
Well, I don't care about the Water Committee. I care about what's coming before the commission.
I care about the Water Committee.
Okay. Well, as a commissioner, if they all present to us at the same time,
we will schedule it when we can get it done, when everybody's prepared and after the Water Committee has heard their presentation.
Well, I'm not sure.
Thank you.
I think it's a condition precedent. I'd like to see it next Monday if possible.
Mayor, can somebody explain to me, is the Water Committee a group that is a volunteer group or appointed group, and what is their purpose? Is it a committee that is just coming back with recommendations, or do they actually, I mean, is it county, is it us, who is it?
It's an advisory committee to me, and I have asked, I need to understand these proposals. I have not been presented any information on Lake Point. I would like them to present to this committee. I sit there as well, and I'd like to be able to ask questions of them at that time before we come into a public meeting at a commission meeting. I think that's only fair.
And who are they? Is there a reason why there's a resistance to?
I don't really know. There are our consultants, our water people, people from the community, people on our Water Committee. So it's a diverse group of people. Mr. Mitchell?
I have been told, and this concerned me a little bit, that members of this advisory committee, and I understand there's two different committees, so it's kind of hard to keep track, but some of them are representing other entities. Yeah, no.
It's not accurate. I know,
Okay.
because Jeff told me.
Does Danny Martell represent, who does he work for?
Danny Martell is not on the Water Committee.
Who is on the Water Committee?
Michelle Diffenderfer?
She represents somebody.
She does not.
Yes, she does.
She does not. She does
Really?
not. I
Really?
just talked to her about it because I
Okay.
wanted to make sure. And she no longer represents this.
Oh, she no longer does.
Right, so she
But she did. She represents who? Who did she represent?
The Lakeworth.
Lakeworth Drainage District?
Yes.
And she doesn't represent any other interests that are coming before us?
No.
Okay, I'm not sure that that's
Well-
correct. But regardless, I think what Commissioner Jane, what we are saying is that was an understanding that we had, you gave us, that this, not that it would come back to your advisory committee, but that it would come to us. And we've been very patient in waiting for it to come to us, right?
You have been, and we're happy to do it, and I'm happy to do it.
And from what I understand, and this is not advocating for one or over another, because I like all of them, quite honestly. But if there is the sense from one group, and I know that they have met with your staff repeatedly.
They have not. We have not met with them.
Just a minute, just a minute.
We've
Mr.
not
Mitchell,
met with them in the last 6 months.
You haven't met with...
Until a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we went back to them. But I have not heard their proposal. Do you not think I should be able to hear their proposal?
Why can't we all hear it together?
Well, I would like to hear it with my staff so I can ask the questions I need to ask.
Oh, well, it is not just your decision. It is our decision as well.
And I'm happy to bring that forward, but I believe that I am owed the courtesy to hear this.
They have been meeting with your staff for a year or more, haven't they?
I wouldn't say a year. They probably met with us maybe 2 or 3 months. Every couple of weeks, they brought back additional information. It's probably been January since we met with them.
Really? Okay. That's the last time you saw any of the people from C-51, from Florida Crystals hasn't met with you?
I saw C-51 at the water meeting.
Okay.
And
And Lake Point hasn't been talking to you or meeting with you?
I have not met
Okay.
with them.
Has there been any other group that has come forward?
No.
Really? Because I've heard of another group that's come forward.
They haven't talked to me. I don't know anything about it.
But anyway, what we asked for was for it to come to us, and
That's
it's
fine.
continually
It will come to you.
being stalled.
It's not we tried to get Sluggett in today, and he wasn't ready. We tried to get him in today, and he wasn't ready.
Okay, I would like to get a copy, if I could, of all of the people that they would be, any of these groups are presenting to. Who did Florida Crystals present to? And who are you asking Lake Point to present to? And is it you that they're presenting it to, or the committee? What is the purpose of the meeting?
It's a presentation to our staff and consultants and independent community people, and we ask them questions. I'm there as well. And we ask questions about the project. We're not saying yes, no, maybe. It's information gathering for us. And I need to be prepared. I need to understand what it is. And they're helping me to understand that. Commissioner Moffett?
Well, I think this is important when we have people appointed to boards who are who have the background, more background than you and I have, I would think.
Really? Eric Shane has more background than you and I in water?
Well, I'm just saying the people who are
That's
appointed...
actually not accurate.
Let's not question these volunteers.
That's all right. So what I'm saying is if we can get the staff and consultants and everyone else to talk about it first, they will have more information for us later. I just think it's a good idea to do that before it's brought before the commission.
And it'll be a better presentation. I mean, the people from C-51, they got asked a lot of questions, and that refined their presentation, and it'll be a better presentation. Commissioner Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to go back to something that our president, I need to put on my calendar a specific dates for workshops that we need to hear, and this is one of the issues. I did hear the president recommended Monday the 23rd if it's available and we could get it. So I need to be able to go back upstairs and put on my calendar that if it's amenable that we will meet with these persons, because I get this material on long-term, short-term, and I need to sit down, and we said that we would discuss it as a commission first. But I still want to be able to put it on my calendar, so Mayor and Mr. Mitchell will, February 23rd, be a targeted date. I mean July 23rd, thank you, sir. So that if these people are available, that we can have a dialogue prior to our commission meeting.
We will see if they are available on July 23rd and if they are available before July 23rd to meet with the committee. We will see if we can get them in.
Okay, I have a different concern about it. I'm really struggling with why, when other, I'm just really, I don't understand why we wouldn't meet in the sunshine. Why, I mean, I know that that is we've been given so much information on water.
It's a sunshine meeting. My committee is a sunshine meeting.
But it's not a workshop where we get to hear what they're saying. It is a workshop that we can all go to this.
We will have a workshop. I mean, if we have it the 23rd, that will be a workshop.
It's a meeting in the sunshine, then anybody can come to it? It's a noticed meeting?
Well, let me check.
Was
I'm not
the
sure
last
if it was
meeting that you
noticed.
had noticed and
I don't know. I'll
minutes
see.
taken? Can we find out if minutes
see.
were taken at that meeting?
So just to finish my concern, I have really worked hard to get up to speed on everything that there is to know, and I've tried very hard to talk to people that are, well, it's very hard to find somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight. So, you know, you're talking to a lot of people with a lot of dogs, and it's complicated. It's got an unbelievable amount of moving parts, and I want as much information as I possibly can get. So I like the idea of being able to have a dialogue with even your committee, Mayor, because it gives me, you know, like you're saying, like Commissioner Moffett is saying, if there are people that have been listening to this and advising you, well, I'd like to be able to hear them and have a dialogue with them during a presentation, which I think sounds more like a workshop.
That's exactly what we want to set up. I mean, as Mr. Mitchell and I have been talking about this, we would like to set up a workshop with Lake Point, with C51, with our staff, with our consultants, with our committee members, so that everybody can be a part of the discussion. That's exactly what we want to do. I just like to hear it before. If you were in my position, you would want to be prepared before as well. You know, that's all we're asking, is that we hear them before. I've never said I wasn't going to do this. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. And we're going to do it when everybody's ready to do it. Up to this point, the Lake Point people have not been ready.
Well, the other thing that concerns me is I know that the clock is ticking on whatever we're doing with the district.
It's not ticking. We're working with the district. We've submitted everything in a timely fashion. We are not outside our plan. We can continue talking about these projects for as long as we need to continue to talk about them until we make a decision as what we want to do. I mean, one of the things that was said was that this is an ongoing conversation, and that can continue to occur as we're moving forward with the district. It doesn't have to be done before our work with the district. So we're not in a time crunch with the district. We've submitted the plans in the timeline they're supposed to be submitted, and we're working through that. And we can continue to talk about these two projects as long-term backup possibilities.
So there's only 2 projects?
I don't know the third. If you know something, tell me. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Okay.
I've heard of a project somewhere out on the 45th and Haverhill area, in Nat Roberts, some kind of preserve or something like that. So as I get more information, I'll just have them pass it on to you. Actually, I was under the impression that Michelle Diffendorfer was backing that.
Right. That's what I heard, too.
So.
What is the timeline?
Well, I don't think you have to put a timeline on these projects in particular. We promised the district that we would submit plans, and within 60 days and 90 days, or 60 and 120 days, which we have done. They have been submitted. There's going to be an ongoing dialogue between the city and the district as to how those plans flesh out. Whatever happens with those plans, we can still talk about these other projects as supplemental to whatever we do. They're always going to be out there for discussion, and we should talk about them. But it's, you know, as somebody said, it's like trying to decide how much life insurance you need. How much is enough? What we're doing with the district at this point, the district is very happy with. We're moving forward, and we're making those adjustments as we deal with them. We might feel a whole lot better having more backup, which these other projects would bring, than just staying with what we have. with the district. We can do that.
I understand that, Mayor. What I don't understand is, don't the decisions that we make on these backup projects affect the decisions that we're going to make on short-term? Aren't they going to, I mean, I feel like they should affect those decisions. And we're talking about in the very near future, giving an okay to spend a tremendous amount of money. How do we answer our constituents about that? How do we explain to them when they ask us these questions? I just, I feel like we just need to dedicate more time to this and have a much better understanding.
Let's do that. We will schedule these people in. And I committed to you, and I'm going to do that. Absolutely. I just feel like I have the right also to hear what they have to say, and I haven't heard that.
Well, I repeat my request to get it done Monday.
We'll see what we can do. All right, would you like to go into number 6?